Along with the Argentinian tango, French musettes, and German polkas, the accordion is one of the defining sounds of Central Texas conjunto bands, as well as Southeast Texas Cajun and Zydeco music, country, and Western swing. With its roots dating back to China thousands of years ago, the popularity of this instrument took off in the early 19th century in Europe. By the mid-1800s, immigrants had brought the accordion to Texas, where it became emblematic of the way different ethnic groups have shared their musical heritage and influences. Patented in 1829 by an Austrian named Cyril Damien, the accordion spread quickly throughout Europe. From Ireland to Russia, the versatility and sheer volume of this instrument attracted folk musicians who adapted it to their own style of music. However, it was the Germans, Czechs, and French who forever changed Texas music with their use of the accordion. German immigrants began moving to Central Texas in large numbers in the 1840s, settling in what became known as the German Belt, areas including New Braunfels, Fredericksburg, and Luckenbach. German folk songs, with their polka, waltz, and schottisch dance steps, were a fundamental part of these immigrant communities, and the accordion was essential to their music. By the turn of the century, German Texans and Tejanos were increasingly exchanging musical influences. Santiago Jimenez began playing the accordion in 1921 at the age of 8. His father, Patricio, had been a successful accordion player in Eagle Pass, Texas, and he encouraged his son to play. After moving to San Antonio, Santiago became one of the first accordionists to help develop a new style known as conjunto. It is Narciso Martinez, however, who is known as the father of conjunto music. He popularized the combination of accordion and bajo sexto, instrumentation that many believe defines the genre. Valerio Longoria became one of the biggest conjunto stars in the 1940s, and the tradition was carried on by the sons of Santiago Jimenez, Flaco and Santiago Jr. Country music is another important part of the state's musical heritage, and as it developed, it absorbed the influences of the many different ethnic and immigrant groups in the Southwest. Western swing in particular borrowed from these diverse cultures, including the use of the accordion. Adolf Hoffner, a San Antonio Western swing musician of German and Czech heritage, made the accordion a featured part of his band. The Port Arthur Jubileers, located deep in the heart of Texas Cajun country, did the same. East Texas and western Louisiana share a history of French immigration dating back to colonial times. A surge in 1755 following the loss of Acadia to the British established the culture now known as Cajun. Another surge began in the 1850s and lasted until approximately 1930. The fiddle was the primary instrument of these early French settlers, but as the German population spread east and as more Mexican Americans began incorporating the accordion, the French began to adopt it into their Cajun music as well. French Creole music, or Lala, was a combination of both French and African musical traditions. As Lala began to mix with blues and R&B during the 1930s and 1940s, it evolved into Zydeco, the first known recordings of which were made in Texas. The accordion remains a fundamental part of Zydeco. From cowboy songs to conjunto, from Zydeco to Cajun, the accordion has helped shape the musical identity of the Lone Star State. In this instrument, we hear the heritage of our ancestors and a dynamic cross-cultural contribution which continues to change and develop.